Strawberry Frappuccinos and a Black Leather Jacket, Chapter 5. A Raspberry Frappuccino. Written and narrated by Eleanor Rose. Artwork provided by Marlene Bruus. Hey Adrien, what's your last name? Alya slammed her fist on the counter for attention, jerking the boy from a zen state while he stirred hot chocolate.
Agrest?
He stammered in surprise. Okay. She walked away and planted herself at a table without buying anything. Alya opened her laptop and started typing away furiously, noticing that he was curious, albeit a little anxious, about what she was doing. The detail of him making his way to the table as soon as a chance opened up a few minutes later wasn't lost on her.
Here,
he said, smiling and handing her a chocolate cupcake. What's this? Alya furrowed her eyebrows, perplexed at the sustenance in front of her.
Don't you bloggers live off of cafe food and coffee?
Wow, hurtful. She laughed and reached for the cupcake. This is the 21st century. I think you're late on the use of stereotypes by 20 years.
Alya.
Adrien rolled his eyes. I'm just saying, get over stereotypes. They were made forever ago and we, the rising generation, need to fight them.
The ones from 20 years ago?
Yeah, and even before that.
Blogs didn't exist 20 years ago.
Adrien's comment left Alya with her mouth open, a ghost of what could have been her biting into a delicious, moist chocolate cupcake. Touché, she smirked, setting the cupcake down.
So what's up?
Adrien asked.
Why'd you need my name? Are you stalking me on the internet or something?
Alya froze at what was intended to be a joke. Adrien, the little cinnamon roll, assumed that she wanted to send him a friend request on Facebook, or maybe find him on Twitter. Spot on. I'm digging to see if I should try to set you and Marinette up. She crossed her arms and smirked, waiting to see his reaction. Adrien managed to keep a poker face, but the tips of his ears turned red as he processed what she'd said. He cleared his throat, a good attempt at covering how her comment flustered him.
I wouldn't recommend it. I'm dating someone else, after all.
Oh, well that settles that. Alya shrugged, as though it were nothing. Is she pretty? Alya knew that he was dating Chloé, but she had no idea who Chloé is. She figured she could bait Adrien into telling her more about this girl.
Oh, yeah, she is.
He lit up at the thought. Really? Tell me about her.
Well, she loves fruit and likes eating organic. She's got great taste in fashion, and she likes honey in everything. Yogurt and milk, even on strawberries. There's nothing she wouldn't put honey in.
She sounds pretty sweet. Alya raised her eyebrow. Chloé, was it? She hoped mentioning her name again would prod him to give her the girl's last name. The first few searches on Google gave her zip about this boy. Maybe she misspelled his name?
Yeah, she's studying at Esmond to be a shoe designer. She dabbles in other areas, of course. She's designed me a few things already. Some bigger things, like a jacket and a sweater, but also some smaller things like hats and scarves when it gets cold outside. In fact, Adrien said, filled with excitement from talking about his girlfriend, we made these together!
He gestured to his shoes. They were orange on the outside with white laces. It was nothing too fancy, but Alya gave a nod of acknowledgement. She knew that Marinette could do better.
It's so cool,
Adrien grinned, beginning to untie his shoes. Alya could see the black interior with a little green and red inside once he slipped them off, but she couldn't make out the pattern. Adrien took one hand and reached inside to grab the toe section, and slowly pulled his hand out, contorting the shoe as he did so. By the time his hand exited the shoe, it was turned inside out, causing Alya's jaw to drop open. It was now a black shoe with white laces and an orange interior, but on the outside there were little green paw prints that led from the toes to the heel. On the back of the heel sat a little black cat outlined in green with emerald eyes. Adrien turned the other shoe inside out, showing off the little dots leading from the toe to the heel, where a ladybug sat. When the two shoes were side by side, it looked like a cat and a ladybug were staring at each other.
It was one of her projects,
Adrien began, pausing to think about it.
It's a good memory from before we started dating, and before I found out that she was...
He cut himself off. She was? She was what?
Top of her class and in desperate need of a familiar face. Chloé isn't good at asking for help, so when she was in the male shoe design unit, she almost lost her academic standing because apparently all of the men in her life have repulsive feet. I went to bring her caffeine and check up on her, but ended up helping for the next 9 hours. We didn't get done until 4 in the morning, 4 hours before it was due, and ended up falling asleep on the floor together.
Oh. Alya set down what was left of the cupcake, disappointed in how obviously infatuated the boy was with this Chloé girl.
A lot of people don't think she works hard because of where she comes from,
Adrien sighed.
But that's because everything she works for is temporary. The amount of time she puts into her makeup, her hair, skincare, it's incredible. But because of it, people write her off as dumb and self-serving.
His smile turned into a frown. She closed her laptop in defeat. Alya wanted to help Marinette with her crush, but knew that she shouldn't. It was apparent how much Adrien cared about his girlfriend, and it seemed like he knew her pretty well. She didn't think finding anything dirty on Chloé would change how he felt about her. Adrien pulled out his phone, looking for a notification.
So did you end up sending me a friend request?
Huh?
Facebook. Did you send me a friend request?
Oh, no, I didn't. I couldn't find you.
Darn.
Adrien smirked.
If you friended me, then I could have found Marinette.
That sounds like you've already looked for her. Adrien's ears regained their pink hue.
Busted!
He laughed and put his shoes back on, black side out, to go back to the register.
I mean,
he said from behind the counter.
She's pretty awesome and all.
I can't disagree with you on that one. Alya packed up her laptop and pulled out her phone to call Marinette. She picked up after 3 rings. Hey girl, the ball of fur is taken.
What?
The fluff of fur. He won't need a new groomer anytime soon. Alya, I don't understand.
You're bad at this whole code thing. You know that?
I'm sorry? Marinette's confusion was apparent, even over the phone. Sighing, Alya decided to play her emergency-only card. Meet me at the teacup ride in half an hour. It's about your wannabe boyfriend, Alya said, and hung up before the girl on the other end could protest.
Marinette has a boyfriend?
Adrien perked up. Alya bit her tongue to keep from laughing. Why do you ask?
Well, if she did, then maybe we could go on a double date or something.
Alya was grateful that Marinette wasn't there to hear that. If she had, she probably would go out and find some sap to pretend to be with her. Her crush for Adrien knew no bounds. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Alya gave him the kind of falsified smirk you would use in a poker game and stood up to leave.
Heading out?
You've been lovely, Adrien, but I just made plans with Marinette.
So I heard. I'm assuming I'll see you soon?
I suppose that depends on how many hours you put in. Alya adjusted the strap on her messenger bag and opened the door, hitting a girl in the process. Oh, I'm so sorry, Alya began, only to be interrupted by Adrien.
You okay there, Marinette?
Alya looked at her best friend's appearance in disbelief. Marinette, what are you doing here? I figured I would grab a drink on the way, Marinette said, rubbing her nose.
Ignore her, Marinette,
Adrien said from behind the counter.
You're always welcome here.
Oh, Adrien! Hi! Marinette greeted him rather enthusiastically, waving her hand and flashing a tight, all-toothed smile. You know you're going to get fat with all those Frappuccinos you're drinking, right? Alya rolled her eyes. Marinette glanced at her and then at Adrien to check if he heard. His laugh at the comment made her turn her usual shade of pink.
Here, Marinette,
Adrien said, sliding a pink drink towards her.
It's on the house, for the whipped cream.
But I thought, Marinette began.
Just try it. It's a bit different from the usual.
Adrien flashed her a smile that reminded Alya a bit of Cat Noir. Marinette took the drink off the counter slowly, as if she wasn't sure if it was okay to do so. Putting the straw to her mouth, she took a sip. Her eyes opened wide in surprise, and she looked up at Adrien, her lips parting from the straw into a smile.
This is...
she exclaimed, a trace of a giggle in her tone.
Yep, house-made.
Adrien winked. What is it? Alya furrowed her eyebrows, upset that she was missing out on a potential inside joke.
Raspberry Frappuccino. I picked them up fresh from the farmer's market this morning and made the puree here,
Adrien admitted, puffing out his chest in pride. That sounds pretty good, Alya said. How much for a tall?
It's not for sale. I only bought enough for one.
Marinette choked on her drink after hearing his comment, and Alya, finally, lost it. She collapsed onto the floor in laughter.
What's going on in here, dudes? Am I missing out on something? Or what?
The trio looked over to see Nino standing at the door. They were too engrossed in Adrien's frappe to hear the bell ring when he walked in.
Nino!
Adrien waved, happy to see his friend.
Dude, I got those tickets for Jagged Stone! Really?
Adrien's eyes lit up.
Yeah, all I need now is a date,
Nino sighed.
You're going with Chloé, but that makeup chick you tried to set me up with hasn't been responding to my texts.
Adrien made a mental note to apologize to Julika the next time they worked together. He knew that Nino could be a lot to handle at times. He couldn't imagine what it would be like to be the girl Nino was trying to court. Speaking of numbers, Adrien, could I get yours? Alya cut in. Just in case an opportunity for that double date happens.
Yeah, sure.
Adrien pulled out his phone to create a new contact and passed it to her. She did the same, and they typed in each other's information.
Mind if I take a photo?
Adrien asked. Go for it. Alya winked and struck a pose, taking a selfie with Adrien's phone as he did the same with hers. Ooh, great photo, Alya said, showing it to Marinette when she got her phone back.
Likewise, you're a natural.
Oh, I run blogs for a living. Selfies come naturally to me. Alya flipped her hair in a mock bragging manner.
What's that, pretty girl?
Nino asked, gesturing to Marinette's drink.
The raspberry Frappuccino,
Adrien answered before she had the chance to.
Oh, that one? Nino raised his eyebrows in surprise and leaned in towards Marinette, as though he was inspecting her. Dude, didn't you buy like 2 liters of raspberries for this?
What's that? 2 liters? Alya piped in, raising her eyebrow.
Yeah, Nino continued. This dude over here wouldn't let me try any. He spent all morning trying to make the perfect puree with it. I could have sworn he ran out before he got it right, but I guess not.
Is that true, Adrien? Did you put an entire morning and 2 liters of raspberry into creating the perfect raspberry frappe? Alya smirked. His ears turned pink and he shrugged, refusing to make eye contact with anyone as he looked away. He ended up grinning down at his Lady Noir shoes.
Alya, we should really go!
Marinette burst out. The other two were so focused on the potential to tease Adrien that they forgot she was standing there, almost as pink as the house-made drink chilling her fingers. Looking at her friend's obvious discomfort, Alya sighed and put her arm around her.
You're right. Time to go. Bye for real, Adrien waved. Later, dudes, Nino chimed in.
Marinette's hands were still frozen around the to-go cup as she walked stiffly to the door, so Alya waved goodbye for her. Bye, Adrien. Bye, Nino, was it?
Yeah, I work here too. Adrien told me that if you two ever come in, to give you a discount, so stop by to say hi to me too.
Will do. Alya gave him one last smile. Let's go, Marinette. The duo stepped outside onto the Parisian sidewalk. Instead of their date at the amusement park together, they walked back to the bakery and up to Marinette's room. Alya figured she had enough excitement for the day. Alya, Marinette said, eyes still wide from the events at the cafe. I know, girl, Alya sighed, sitting down on the bed. She knew that they would spend at least the next 3 hours talking about Adrien and accepted her fate. Picking up her phone, she called a local Thai place. May as well make it a sleepover. End of chapter. Keep listening for a sneak peek at next week's part. Chapter 6, Sneak Peek. Tears of Heartbreak, Alya's Spite. There's a difference between doing the nice thing and doing the good thing. The chapter may be a bit confusing to those who don't fully understand what I'm referencing. Marinette cries, and Alya decides to become a fairy godmother.